Welcome back to the Glaze Studios oil painting tutorial. I am Gomati Sivasankaran and we are now in the class 12 of the oil painting tutorial series. We have been working on the portrait of a baby girl and we are going to continue doing the same in today's class too. Let us go over the recap of what we have been doing so far. So we started out with this ambition of doing a 40 by 40 centimeter canvas to be painted with a portrait of a baby girl, and the picture of this baby girl is available in the link that is in a description, and you will find that in every description of every class. And we started with doing some basics. We discussed a lot about the paints, the brushes, the canvas itself, how to use it, how to use golden ratio, and we looked at placing the subject, the baby girl, within the norms of the golden ratio, using the golden ratio effectively. So we did that, and then we moved on to we did the first layer, that is the primary layer on the canvas, and then the second layer was more of blocking, where we had slightly used only brown color. I think we did that brown color and a little bit of white to give dark and light tonality. So we started focusing on spaces of dark and light in our second layer, that is the blocking or filling. We moved on to the third layer. The third layer was also similar to blocking or filling, but the difference was that now we are picking up the real colors that are closest to the subject. Along the line, we also did something that we will copy only certain aspects of what we see in the picture that is attached. We took some of the logic that is very much the same. So the baby girl with her toy, we did take that for copying, but we managed to have a change made in the overall background. The background where you see the child in the picture is an indoor atmosphere, but we used an outdoor atmosphere as a background. So in that process, we also learned how to use or mix our imagination here and there, even when we are trying to copy, without breaking the real red thread or the essence of the painting or the portraiture's logic. And by logic, we totally mean, for me, it is very much close to the mathematical accuracy that I try to look for in terms of light and shade. Where exactly did we put the angles of light and shade in the baby girl's picture, portrait, and do we keep that same essence going through, red thread going through, even when we are creating imaginary aspects along the line? That was one thing. And we also wanted to show something called distance. There's not so much distance shown in this real picture. It was taken indoors, so I think it could be a few meters away that you see right behind the child there is a wall or a door, so that is the boundary of the space. But we wanted to give a little more space and distance, and that's another angle that we wanted to explore, so we did that. Now we are in the fourth layer. We're still working on the fourth layer. We started with the fourth layer by working on the baby girl's hair, and then we moved on without working on too much into the face. We moved on to the shirt and its pattern, and we did a little more on the toy. So there was a lot of work that we did on the toy. And we also did work on the grass. So I think we did quite a bit in 11 classes for now. So as I mentioned earlier, those who have been sticking around and trying to do this, congratulations. It's a humongous task, and I'm so proud that you're taking this and seriously and trying to do it as much as possible. So I'm congratulating you for that, and keep on going. Before we start, we'll go over some of the basics that we have, the brushes that we have. I have the same round brushes, number 2, 4, 6, and 8. They are synthetic brushes, soft and smooth. These are store-bought, not a professional kind of brush. I just wanted to use simple brushes to show you the possibility of doing things well. I also have from another set brush number 1 that's even thinner, but it's all round brushes that I've been using. I did tell you that I buy some zero brushes or very thin brushes and keep them handy if I need. But mostly I try my best to do with these brushes. I will start with brush number 1 today. And with respect to the oil colors, we discussed in great detail about different brands. I'm not going to go into that. I have different brands, and I will. This is my situation that I'm just transitioning between brands. I will just use for today, because today we are going to address the face tonality, the skin color, wherever you can see the skin or the body directly of the baby girl. So we are going to work on that as the 4th layer. So I chose to use, I have titanium white already in my palette, a little bit here, so I don't want to take a little more. I will go with that. And I have sort of crimson, yeah, it's close to crimson, I think, yeah, for the pinky feeling that we want to give wherever needed. I will take a little bit of that. I have yellow ochre light, and I might take the Van Dyke brown if need be, but I don't see the need immediately. So for now, I think these 3 will be the colors that I will use. We went over the brush, the colors, and the oil that I'm using is always the same, the cold pressed raw lean oil, linseed oil, and I do not use faster drying mediums at all. I have this oil loaded into a small little metal lid, and I have one that is little clean. Yeah, this is clean, so it's directly loaded with that. And I have one other, what I call a dirty one, when I have to push myself into all these darker colors. So I use different ones just for, it's the same oil that I pour into different metal lids, just for me to understand where I'm going to pick up the oil from, depending on what kind of color I'm using. If it's a lighter tonality, the clean one. If it's a darker tonality, the dirty one. That's what I do. So that's about what I'm doing right now. And let's now jump directly into the face. This is a little bit complex area. We are moving on to the 4th layer. So there's more of nuances that we'll have to work on. Just be careful with the tonalities that we built. I have the old, I'm using the same palette, so it looks dirty, but I can see the old tonalities that I used as well. But still, for you, if you're not very sure, and if you have changed the palette or cleaned the palette, unlike me, try to mix things properly here before you even want to start. So we want to have, right now we want to have this smoother skin texture to be made. And we want at least 3 to 4 tonalities to be built. The same way, I think we used 4 tonalities overall when the third layer was done. So we will try to do that, but essentially we are going to start with a couple of tonalities, and then we move along and see if we need more here and there. So I'm going to build, I took a little bit of yellow ochre, yeah, and I'm going to take a tiny bit of this crimson, sort of. It's not exactly crimson, but close to what I have. And I'm going to see if I can blend and create a couple of tonalities for now in here. So let me see. I'm starting with the white. I take a little bit of white, okay, and move on to mix the white along with the yellow ochre. Slightly take a tinge, meaning, you know, it's just the tip of the brush, yeah, and blend it, and you can see already the color changes. I'm just trying to see if this is good enough for me to start with. I think this is okay for me to start with, and I would need a little more lighter one. So maybe I will do the same thing again here, another place, and take a little more of the white. So not too less, so a little more of the white. Little more of the white. So a tiny bit of this yellow ochre. And a slight tinge of this crimson. So I have a slight pinky white skin tone color that I need. I think I have both ready. And for now, I'm just making a touch somewhere, you know, the best way, you would have mixed it and coming close to the color tone that you want. The way I test it, if you want to test, I always like to test on the sides, you know, any corner where it's easy to, you know, erase or, yeah. So I am, if you look at where I'm going to go into and what I'm going to go into, I will be more into the lighter shades and the blending in the beginning. So that's what I want to do, and see where the darker shades can be readjusted. So that's what I plan to do now, at least for now. So that's why I've got both the tonalities ready, and if need be, I will create few more tonalities along the line. So this one is the lightest of the skin tone that I wanted, and I am convinced with this because this is on the top of the ear, the left ear, the baby girl, where the light is catching. So I'm just doing that. And is also on the ear where one puts an earring. So it's just underneath. I also see some of it there. So I'm just placing it there. And now I notice one error that I could fix. So keep on thinking of updating the picture. I remember the ear was so big, so I made it smaller, which means there is some space that I left that is looking browny here. So I wanted to hide that, and I did not do it. possibly I will take another brush, doesn't matter which it is. I'm just going to use the green that I have, the olive green that I have. I don't care if it's the same color tonality for now, because we will do layer number 5 on the grass as well, so we can fix that later. At least for now, I'm just getting this out of my way by closing this open-ended area that is still looking browny, and saying, okay, that's not what I'm going to do for the ear. That's not a place I want to work on for the ear. Maybe I'm adding a tiny tinge of white to that green to just make sure that it hides what is there previously. And now you see more of the ear alone properly coming up. I'm just blending this tonality together here. And when we work on the layer number 5, we'll make sure that it doesn't show so prominently the way it does now. So this is one way of being sure you are correcting the mistakes along the line. So even though it is the 4th layer, we still can correct, make adjustments to make it even perfect if you want. So keep working on that. Okay, so I have done this. The ear, I guess it is okay for now. I'm going to go and do the same thing for the spaces. This is a complex area. Just be very careful. Do not take too much of oil and make your brush so soggy or something, because right now we are going to go directly on the forehead area where there's hair falling, but in between these hair strands, do you notice that there is this slight, the skin visible? So I'm trying to show that, and that's what I want to do here. This is even a little bit more complex, but yeah, we can achieve. It's not impossible. So keep at it very slow, tiny tinge, and then we can always blend in colors. Maybe if you think it's a little more brighter than what it should be, take a tinge of the other tonality and try to blend that in. I did that. Okay, so it doesn't show much, but these are very tiny spaces to work on as well. So right now I'm working on the left eye, very close to the eyebrow. That's where I see this beautiful space underneath her eye. And this space, this will also catch a little more of the white, isn't it? We can also do that, and if you're comfortable doing it, we can do it in the 4th layer. If not, you can do it in 5th layer also. So it doesn't matter the number of layers. What I'm suggesting, you could also split into further layers if you feel it is a little complex for you to achieve. It's fine. So I'm doing that. I guess we have this shade done, and I'm using this on her cheek because I want to make the cheek look so floppy, if I may say so. I'm doing that. Okay, these are obvious areas, so I'm still going on, not switching into any other tonality. The lightest tonality that we used, I'm moving on with that. And what I will do is to do the same tonality on the nose where there is light catching. Yeah? Can you see? It starts with the corner where the right eye ends. So that's a little bit lighter, and then it's flashy on her, and right side of her nose. That's where it is. I'm trying to use that. Yeah. So did we mark the lighter areas again to our satisfaction? Just take a look at it. If not, we can always come back to this. But right now, I'm not washing the brush or cleaning the brush much because it's between tonalities, and I'm going to move into the next tonality. Before that, okay, I just noticed the upper lip also has this shine that I noticed that I wanted to do. And then the chin also has slightly, not too much of it, but I'm doing that. Okay, so now I'm ready for the next tonality that we built. The first one that we built actually was a little darker, isn't it? So I'm taking that. Okay, I want to go in and blend this along the same space. So I have not gone into the left side of the baby girl or our right side, the painting's right side. I'm still on the the right side of the baby girl or the left side of our painting, where I can blend colors a little bit more. And I'm seeing the spaces where we did not paint, and I'm just blending this color along. So it doesn't look like, these are patchy. There is other style of painting, so you can make it look patchy as well without blending thoroughly, and that's also another painting methodology, and it's got a very good impact. I like that as well. But right now we are trying to blend. Okay, I'm going into the same color and using that to fill the ear where I did not do much. Okay, and in the sides. Okay, I think I've got the side covered. Now let's do the face underneath the eyebrow, and do not worry too much that it has to be darker. I know, but it's a fourth layer, and if you make it slightly transparent, the color from beneath will also show through. So this is, there are two ways to do it. One is to use your finger or use a tissue or earbud to roll the color over in a manner that it will still show a bit of the third layer. That's one way. Another way is to use a little more of oil so it's translucent. I am avoiding taking more oil because I'm concerned that it will start dripping through the face that I do not want. That's why I'm trying to avoid that method. But if you're comfortable trying it, you can. Okay. So I am going through this under the eye, the space under the eye, and close to the eye. Okay. I'm blending these colors now. So it looks blended, and at the same time you see the color differences coming through. Okay, and now is the time for us to adjust the nose. Remember, I told you the pores in the nose could be little smaller, and we could fix that now. Doing that. Yes. Going over the nose. Okay, and now I'm back very close to the jawline and the lip. But I'm still on the right side of the baby girl, or our left side, the painting's left side. Okay. If you are able to achieve a faster, in a faster manner, if you're able to reach this far, good. If not, if we need more time, pause this and do it slowly, steadily. Let's enjoy this process. I'm going to transition into the left side of the baby girl, our right side. I'm still working on the chin, so while I'm transitioning, I'm moving there. And I'm also seeing places where I can make few more adjustments, isn't it? It's not perfect. So I'm still thinking of that. Let's say, for now, I think I have reached that chin. Let's go on to the cheek, and cheek is where I wanted to make slight adjustments. Just looking at this, I'm going very close to the left eye and seeing where the line has to drop, because I think I made a slight proportion error that I want to fix. It's not that bulged, but it is bulged up here. Not at that. This is the line, which means that I will need a little bit of white to adjust the side to be sure that it's in alignment. I think I'll do that, but I remember with the cheeks, I also love to do this circular movement to make it, nice and right. And the cheeky thing, it's a cheeky thing that this is it's a cheek of the baby girl that we want to try to do. We've got it. And now there comes the need for the other tonality. That's okay, we can do that. So I built 2 tonalities instead of 3 or 4 to just focus on, and I think I'm convinced with what is coming up right now, at least in this area. For the next tonality, I would rather repeat the same tonality, create it, and then so the yellow ochre, tinge of pink. I want to have the same. I have it. And to this, if I need, I will add the Van Dyke brown if I need. It is dried out. Okay. There is some. I don't need too much, so I'm not bothered about taking it. For those who are wondering, what to take, it could be the darkest brown that you have used before. That's a good one to try. I'm going to put it here and take a mixture of that skin color that we did and make another darkest version ready. So this is ready. Let's see. Before I want to go into this area, I want to see how that gels well on the right side that we did. The darkest area was still on the top of her the eyelid. Yeah. So I'm seeing I can safely use this, but I can also make it slightly one step darker if I need to. So if you're wondering, how is it different from what we did previously? It's almost the same, but if you look at it, the layers are now talking, isn't it? So once we are filling, people are able to see a little more of a mixture of these layers, and that's what is making it pop out. Just trying to see if I could add tinge of any dark color. I'm seeing if there is a blue that could work, or black that could work, or the brown that could work. So there's another combination that we can always try, but we don't want to darken it too much as well, isn't it? So I'm just taking a bit of the brown and trying to do this section cautiously. See how it goes. And I think it would still need a pinky feeling, because it looks dark, definitely, but I'm not satisfied with this. So I'm going to go over and add a slight tinge of pink into that, the crimson, of course, and try that. So I'm still experimenting on top of this. Yeah. So that's what I did, and I'm going to do the same here. And remember, we put some spaces in between the eyebrows. We have to work on that as well. Yeah. Okay, so that's coming up. Okay. The nose. Okay. And I also noticed one other mistake when I did the eyebrow. It need not have been so close. So I'm going to hide that. Yeah. And now, so this is the darkest tonality that I wanted to put in. So this will also go close to the strands and the spaces where the strands are, in between the strands. So I'll do that. Okay, so I have done that, and I think this ear, again, it should be a little more thinner. We can also fix that later, but I'm just looking at the spaces where the darker tonality should go and stop with that. And now because I used the darkest tonality that I wanted in this brush, and I want to use the same brush, I will wipe the brush off clean and go on to the medium tonality that we had built. We were using for most of the spaces. So I want to fill in that and start blending. Yeah. I'm just filling in the spaces where I did not paint, and I'm going to start blending shortly after. As well. And I am doing a bit of that color tone here also under the chin, very close to the neck, because that's also where I wanted that color to appear slightly. I'm using that, and I will blend that in by just using my finger. Okay, done that. And now let's blend the tonalities in the face. The darkest tonalities with the other tonalities. I'm just making it go over, blend over. In the spaces where they are coming close to each other, the colors are coming close to each other. Especially in the nose, I'm using a vertical move to just blend that, show that's how the tip of the nose is coming up. And there are some shapes that we have not shown, but they will. We couldn't show much. We are going to come to that now. So this is how the face is looking. Once you blend this color together with that, you will see that the darker tonality is also coming together slowly, steadily. We don't want it to stand out also. It's all blending together. And under the nose, remember the upper lip that we did not blend yet. We've already done so, it's fine if you haven't blended now. Okay. We haven't come to the lip as such. Don't worry about that, we'll do that. So now we are getting the face of the baby girl a little more closer to the skin tone that we want, and we have also made some more adjustments. Now the nose needs a lot of work. Okay, so I'm going to focus on the nose. For that, I think I will take a bit of, so I'm looking at where all I want to fix and how. First thing is that the shape of the nose, there are some very, very tiny lines that I want to establish. So I'm just taking the tip of the brush and poking it into the lightest color that I formed, we created. I'm taking that to show this bend in the nose, that's where the nose takes shape. And I will blend the color wherever needed. Okay, and I'll use that to create this shape also, which wasn't clearly visible before. Here, the nose looks slightly thicker, and I want to adjust that. So I'm taking boldly, I'm going back into the darkest tone that we created for the, under eye and so on the left eye. Use that to create the shade that parts the nose from the chin or the cheek, from the cheek. I'll just blend it in. Don't worry, it's not going to be darker because we only took the tip of the brush with it and we are blending it in. That's how it comes. That's how it moves on here. You see that? Fair enough. This tip of the, again, if you want to wipe off the brush, it's good to wipe it off. The tip of the nose, it's a little, not so bright, but it is a good pink. Using a little bit of that, I took a little bit of the medium tone and a little bit of this tone as well, both. And I'm just going to make a very tiny circle on the tip of the nose. I want it to look, slightly, nosy. I did that and I'm making the bend to go this way, to blend with the nose. Yeah. So you can see, okay, looks fairly okay here. I'm taking the rest of the color also on the, the chest area, just to make sure that, it doesn't look different. We'll have to do the same exercise for the hands as well. So it's a lot of work that we will have to do. Not to worry, we'll take it one at a time. So let's see how we are doing with the nose. Just like the way we use the darkest tonality to mark slightly the edge where the nose ends and the cheek begins on the right side of the baby girl or left side of our painting. We will do the same thing on the other side as well, slightly, to keep that, yeah. And I will take the excess away because what I have is enough to blend. We don't want to make it totally dark, And this is helping me create the partition that I wanted to a certain extent. Doing the same here. Okay. And in between the lip and the nose, the upper lip kind of, there's also a space of darkness. which we can use the same darkest tonality that we created and blend it in. Done. The nose, the space that we wanted, the darkest area, the pores of the nose. I think I have smudged it a bit. Don't need too much of work, but I will take a little bit of black or brown, anything will do, because that is the darkest area, to just make it perfect. I smudged it. If you haven't done something like that, then it's good. You are doing good. Yeah, so I'm adjusting because I smudged it. Okay, that is fairly well. And this is also the time that I'm thinking of doing the same kind of adjustment that we did with the nose. Can we try doing that under the lip? Also under the eye. Let's do under the lip first. Under the lip, there's the space where the fold, the edge of the lip has this fold. I want to put that. And just under the lip, there is this darker space that I want to put that. And I'm not taking too much at all. You see how much I took? I just took a slight dip into that. This is more than enough for me because, mind you, we have overloaded the face already with enough tonalities. We don't need too much of anything. So use this itself and see if you can blend them in. I'm seeing places where I would put them in and start blending them in instead of, painting. So you're not doing something like blocking. We are done with blocking 2 layers ago. So this is not a blocking. This is more of talking into the details of how the tonalities look like, and we're keeping on experimenting until we get closer and closer to the subject's structure or tonality. So I'm just blending what I already have, not going back to my palette at all, and seeing where I can continue to create that story. There you go. So I go back to darker tonalities where needed. I do not see need here, but I do see the need to go back to a little bit of black to make the size of the ear a little sharper. The left ear was, I think, the last time I made it a little bigger, so I decided to adjust that. While I adjusted, I might have done something wrong here, so I'm just fixing it. Yeah, that's okay. Now that ear is fixed, I'm going back to the darker tonality. In between that spaces that is so dark, in the ear, I want to also address that. I'm doing that. I think it is time to go back to the dark tonality that we made for the ear as well. Okay, there's a little bit of white in my canvas in the ear. I'm fixing that. Okay, and I also noticed the ears, just like the way there is some space that I had to fix with the green. I noticed the same thing on this ear as well. I have the brush with the green that I think I could go over this area to fix it. So I'm doing that. This is fixed, done. And remember, I was, when I was adjusting the face, I said that there is this line that I fixed, which means I will have to add a little bit of white because the shirt's white or whatever has to show. So I'm going to go back and I'm taking a fresh brush number 2 that I did not use. So I'm taking a slight tinge of the white, not too much, because remember the fourth layer of the white was so translucent. We don't want to spoil that thing. So I'm just going over that to slightly fill in the section where I wanted the chin to be adjusted. So if you see, I'm pulling the brush away from the cheek, so it fills in and blends it with the previously done tonality of the shirt. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, done. Fairly done. Let's go back to the eye. I'm going back brush number 1. The same way that we notice some strokes that can be fixed with a darker tonality, I'm doing them only with the tip, not too much. Yes, good. So this is where we stand with this, and I'm thinking now to make some stronger suggestive lines that I could do, but yeah, I will take a bit of brown. So now I'm sure of where I want those suggestive lines to appear. It should not be very, very strong. So wherever, remember we use the darker tonality, I'm going to blend in slightly more of the brown and do it. So not too much of work. So you don't need to take too much of the color as well. Just trying to see if I can get a little more of the Van Dyke brown. Yeah, I have it. So I'm taking a very tiny bit of it, not too much, to only take it in the tip of my brush. Brush number 1, round synthetic, is what I'm still continuing to use. And I will take it only in the tip. Again, go with the logic of blending, so it's not going to be very marked lines. Remember these lines that we already did just now. So we know these lines underneath the nose, the upper lip, and I will blend them also, yeah? So it's not that I'm going to leave them out. And the edges where the nose curve comes to an end and the cheek starts or whatever, and her lip, her eyes, so those are spaces where we saw clearly the marker distinction. So I'm using that here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here. So I've done that. So it's only the tip, isn't it? So it's easy for you to blend in again. So you've created the third and fourth tonality. Really, the fourth tonality is nothing. It's actually on the canvas that you're doing. That you're trying to build that. Under the lip, the chin, yeah? That's it. Okay, so we stop here, I guess. We will stop here because it's a lot that we have done. But we will continue the same intense work with the same color tonalities again in the next class on the hands, and make sure that it's also in alignment with the face. So we will do that. Continuation of layer 4 is that's what we will continue to do in the next class. So just to summarize, what we have done today is to focus a little more on the fourth layer of the baby girl, baby girl's face. So we worked on creating again 3 to 4 tonalities, but unlike what we did last time, we were focusing more on going close to the blocking, but right now we are also blending more. So we did boldly blend some colors in and out here and there to get different tonalities, and also correct the mistakes from the past layers to see where things are. So that's what we did. I think we will need to do a little more of shading and detailing. Especially we'll have to work on the lip and the eye again. And then we will have to work on the hands and the chest area as well. So I guess there's a lot that we have done today and a lot to go on in the next class. But the fourth layer will start giving you a little more into the subtle, or what do you call, the subtle shades that are in between the tonality. So it's a little bit complex in that manner that we are now blending more and more and trying to achieve realism. So we'll continue to do that, and I'm so happy that you are trying this together with me. Congratulations if you have been reaching this far. Keep patience, we will achieve. We will let's look at where we are, and we have done a lot, but still let's look at what all we will have to do. So the similar work we will be doing on the hands. That's our next class, we know that. And once we are done with that, we let it rest and then move on to fixing a little bit on the sky. Especially in my canvas, I feel it's the layer 4 needs to be slightly done. Maybe not in all places, but some of it. I'll do that. And then we come on to the layer 5 detailing, looking at the toy again, and fixing the toy if we have few more adjustments, and the grass. And then we move back to the baby girl's face and layer and so on. So many textures that we have done, but on top of it, can we just give a nuance to it, fine tuning to it in the layer 5? That's what we will do in layer 5 as well. So if I could estimate from here, we are in class 12, we just finished class 12. I'm looking at class 13 for continuing this, and class 14 for our starting our layer 5. Class 15 also we will continue with the layer 5 to see where we are. And mostly this is the fifth, that will be the fifth layer. So with class 15 we'll be in the fifth layer. You can choose to say I stop there also, but I will also show you if there is something that we could do more, and see how far we can bring into the reality, and say how do we mark it as a stop, because like I said, there is no way we can mark a stop unless and until we give it our own thought process into where exactly, which layer do you think it's justifiable to say a stop. We will learn all that as well. Looking forward to having you again in my class very soon. Thank you very much for watching this episode and also watching and trying to do this complex structure together with me. Congratulations on reaching this far. Keep up the good work and stay put, and share your comments in the feedback session. Share your paintings, what you have done. That's exactly where we are also, seeing where we can get together and how we can help each other. Ask questions as much as you can. Thank you so much. Enjoy the day. Bye-bye.